Media Prima Berhad announced the retirement of Chief Executive Officer of the New Straits Times Malaysia, Datuk Seri Abdul Jalil Hamid, effective 31st March 2019. Mustafa Kamil Muhammad Janor, the Executive Director of News and Editorial Operations of Media Prima, will assume additional duties as the interim CEO beginning April 1st, 2019. The group also announced the appointment of Datuk Yushaimi Maulud Yahya as NSTP's Chief Operating Officer, effective April 1st, 2019. He will report to NSTP's CEO. The government would wait for the toll studies report before making decisions whether to take over the other tolled highways. According to Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng, the study by the Works Minister Barupian expected to be completed in 2 or 3 months' time.
No, because there is a study, kajian akan dibuat oleh Yang Berhormat Barupian sebagai Menteri Kerja Raya. So ini adalah kita akan buat secara bersama. So untuk itu tol lain kita nak lihat dari segi impaknya, kita harap boleh dapat itu rumusan dalam 2-3 bulan lagi.
Guan Eng added talks with Gamuda Berhad would start earlier compared with other highways as it was not as complicated. The government earlier announced that it had begun talks with Gamuda Berhad to negotiate the acquisition of highway concessions for 4 main highways. These include Lebuh Raya Damansara Puchong LDP, Sistem Penyuraian Trafik KL Barat, Sprint, Lebuh Raya Shah Alam Kesas and Smart Tunnel. Meanwhile, the government has increased its direct taxes collection target to 150 billion ringgit from 147 billion ringgit targeted previously. According to Guan Eng, this is achievable based on the targeted economic growth of 4.9%, which would be followed by an increase in tax collection.
I think ini berdasarkan keyakinan KSP terhadap LHDN dan juga terhadap pertumbuhan ekonomi. Kerana sekiranya kita menjurus ke arah pertumbuhan 4.9%, ia juga harus disusuli dengan tambahan kutipan cukai yang sewajarnya.
Last year, IRB created history by recording the highest collection of direct taxes at 137.03 billion ringgit. On income tax refunds, Guan Eng said as of January, 1.64 billion ringgit had been reimbursed to more than 32,000 tax refund cases. He added the refund of tax arrears amounting to 37 billion ringgit or 19.4 billion ringgit for the goods and services tax and around 18 billion ringgit in income tax this year is expected to be completed within 10 months or earlier. After a successful turnaround and restructuring program of its underperforming assets, Lembaga Tabung Haji is now planning to develop a new asset allocation strategy. According to its Group Managing Director, Datuk Seri Zukri Samad, the Pilgrim Fund plans to reallocate its asset mix from those that are heavily exposed to risk, such as equity, to fixed income, which has more stable revenue in the future, in turn paying a handsome return to depositors. He explained further that skewing towards fixed income means looking at Sukuk and government guarantee papers so that the Pilgrim Fund can determine the quantum of income and dividend. Equity accounted for 55% of TH's asset portfolio in 2017 but had reduced to 50% in 2018. TH will start developing the draft for its new asset allocation strategy in May after announcing the hibah or dividend for 2018 set to take place before the end of March. As at the end of 2018, TH's total fund size amounted to 74 billion ringgit. QSR Brands Malaysia Holdings Berhad is on track to relist on Bursa Malaysia by the first half of 2019. Its Managing Director, Datuk Seri Muhammad Azhari Kamil, said the company is currently finalising its document to be submitted to the Securities Commission Malaysia SC.
As far as the IPO is concerned, we are on target and the IPO will proceed as scheduled. We are expecting, currently we are now finalizing all the documentation, the perfect documentation to submit to the regulators, particularly SC.
Used cooking oil recovery from
US met at the Memorandum of Agreement MOA exchange ceremony between QSR Brands and Fat Hope's Energy Sdn Bhd yesterday. He added the company aims to raise 2 billion ringgit from the initial public offering IPO, subject to the approval of SC. QSR Brands is the operator of 820 KFC restaurants in Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei and Cambodia, with more than 470 Pizza Hut restaurants in Malaysia and Singapore alone. The company aims to open an additional 24 KFC restaurants in the country by year end. We've reached the end of Bizworld this time around. I'm Nadia Azmi. Thanks for investing your time with us.
Antara paparan buletin utama 1 Mac, cuaca panas, Kementerian Pendidikan arah henti aktiviti luar sekolah. Dadah bernilai hampir RM1,5 juta dirampas. Paparan lanjut tepat jam 8 malam ini.